What happens when a court case turns into entertainment? Like, not just something people hear about, but something millions of people are watching, reacting to, and forming opinions on in real time. That's exactly what happened between the trial with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It was everywhere: TikTok, YouTube, the news. But here's the thing: were people reacting to the actual legal case or just how it was being shown to them? To understand that, we first need to talk about defamation. Defamation is basically when someone makes a false statement, presents it as a fact, and it harms someone's reputation. But not every negative statement counts. When it comes to public figures, like celebrities, it's much harder to prove. Because of a Supreme Court case called New York Times v. Sullivan, they have to prove something called actual malice, which basically means the person either knew that what they were saying was false or didn't care if it was true or not. So already, this isn't easy to prove. So then the question becomes, why did this case get so big? So here's what happened. Amber Heard wrote in an article in the Washington Post describing herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. She didn't name Johnny Depp, but he argued that it was clearly about him and that it damaged his reputation. So he sued her for defamation. But here's something important. This case wasn't just about whether abuse happened. It was about whether what she said was false, harmful, and made with actual malice. And what made this case really different was that it was live streamed. Millions of people could watch everything in real time, which raises kind of a weird question. What happens when a legal case starts to feel like a show? In the end, the jury mostly sided with Depp, and he was awarded damages. But honestly, that's only part of the story. Because outside of the courtroom, the internet was doing its own thing. Clips from the trial were going viral, especially on TikTok. But they weren't full clips. They were short, edited, and sometimes framed in a certain way. So think about it. Were people seeing the full story, or just the most dramatic and interesting moments? Let's take a look at what was going on TikTok while this case was taking place.
All kinds of people saw Amber that week, and she didn't have any bruises on her face. This is what Amber carried in her purse for the entire relationship with Johnny Depp. She's an actor. Do you honestly think she would have left her apartment ever without makeup? Do you think that she ever would have wanted other people to see her bruises and her cuts? This was what she used.
Lying will ruin your life. Lying will ruin...
Miss Heard didn't like it when you were high on drugs or drunk on alcohol, right?
She didn't like it when it was her perception. Her perception's quite different than the truth. Stop talking so much. Sorry.
All right. You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint.
Yeah.
I poured myself a large glass of wine.
Right.
I thought it necessary.
So, pocketbook.
It was barely coherent, barely, and I'm holding his daughter crying.
Do you recall these?
Yes, I do.
And are these the text messages?
Yes, that's what he was sending me while I was taking care of his daughter.
And
A lot of content online clearly supported Depp. There were memes, reaction videos, even jokes about the trial. And when you see that kind of content over and over again, it starts to shape how you think, even if you never watched the full trial. So then we have to ask, if people are forming opinions based on short, edited clips, how does that affect what they believe is true? Because at that point, it's not just about the legal case anymore. It becomes all about media framing, what gets shown, how it's edited, and what gets attention. And honestly, that can be just as powerful as the actual verdict. So, the Depp versus Heard trial shows something bigger than just one case. It shows that defamation today doesn't just happen in courtrooms. It also plays out online in front of millions of people, where clips go viral, opinions spread fast, and narratives form before all facts are even clear. So in the end, it leaves us with this question: who really decides the truth? Is it the court, or is it the audience watching from their phones? And what does this mean for a world of constantly changing media and reality as we know it?